Hello, welcome to our weekly Parsha class from Machon Alte in Sfas. This week is Shabbos Parshas Mishpatim. After reading last week about the receiving of the Torah, this week we speak about the different halachas which Moshe came and taught the Yidden right after Matan Torah. Amongst those halachas we find the halacha of if somebody comes and gives an object to his friend to watch, and something happens to this object, is that friend responsible or not? So the Torah comes and tells us that there are 4 different categories of responsibility. There is a shomer chinam, a shomer sachar, a seicher, and a shoel. There is a guard which watches for free. There is a guard which watches for pay. There is a renter, and there is a borrower. Their responsibility is that when it comes to a guard which is guards for free, then being that he's doing a favor and he's not getting paid for it, he's not responsible for what happens to it. He has to swear if it got lost or stolen or anything happened to it, but he's not responsible to pay the value of the actual object. On the other hand, we have the borrower. Being that he borrowed something from his friend and he's using it, the only one is benefiting from it is him himself. Therefore, whatever happens to it, he's responsible, and therefore he will have to pay the value of the object if it got ruined or lost. Then we find a guard which is getting paid for watching it, and the halacha is that if something out of the ordinary happened to it, then the guard is not responsible, being that at the end of the day he's just a guard. But being that he got paid, he's responsible if it got lost or stolen. Any out of the ordinary scenario, he doesn't have to pay. Finally, we find the fourth category, the category of a renter. If somebody rents something from his friend and something happens to it, what's then? What's his responsibility on it? We find an argument in Gemara between 2 sages about what halacha does a renter have. Is he considered like a guard for free, or is he considered like a guard for pay? We find a very beautiful explanation of the Rebbe regarding this discussion. On one hand, we could say that we could view the renter like a guard for free. The object is in his possession just like a guard, and he's not getting paid for watching this. But the difference is the renter is using it for the use, for the privilege of using it, for his enjoyment of using it. He's going to pay for it. But as far as responsibility over the object, he's not responsible for it. Just like a guard which doesn't get paid is not responsible if something out of the ordinary happens to it. On the other hand, we could say, no. A renter practically would have the halacha of a guard for pay. But the way we view him, the way we view his responsibility over the object is not like a guard. The way we review his responsibility on the object is more similar to a borrower. The borrower he goes ahead and lends something from his friend, and he's totally enjoying from it, and he's not paying anything for it. The renter, on the other hand, he's taking an object from his friend, he's the one who's enjoying it, and he's paying for his pleasure, is paying rent to the owner. So therefore, that opinion says that he's more similar to a borrower, but being that he's the one who pays for it, his responsibility is like a guard for pay. Got confused? Let me clarify. We have 4 different categories. We have a category of a guard which doesn't get paid, the guard for free. We have a category of a guard for pay. We have a category of a borrower. And then we have a category of a renter. And then regarding the renter, we have an argument in the Mishnah. What is his responsibility? Is his responsibility similar to a guard for free, or is his responsibility similar to a guard for pay? The Shalah comes and brings that just like we find in a relationship between man and his fellow friend, these four categories, same too we find these four categories in the relationship between man and Hashem. The Shalah explains that Hashem came and created the world, and He gave it to us, to human beings, to the Jewish people, to come and guard it. How do we guard the world? We guard the world by learning Torah and doing mitzvahs. And here we find three general relationships, three general approaches how to deal with the world. One approach is the Shomer Chinam's approach. The Shomer Chinam, the guard for free, says, I'm willing to do you a favor. I'm willing to watch the world. I'm willing to watch the object for no pay. In relationship with Hashem, with the world, the Shomer Chinam comes and says, I'm willing to watch the world, to come and learn Torah and do mitzvahs for free. I'm not looking for any reward. I'll do it just for the sake of Hashem. Then we find the second category, which is similar to a guard for pay or a renter, which says, yes, I am watching Hashem's world. I'm learning Torah and doing mitzvahs, and that's how I'm watching Hashem's world, but I would like also to get a reward. I would like to get paid. What does it mean to get paid? I would like to have a better life. For instance, I will give tzedakah just for the sake of being wealthier. I'll give tzedakah for the sake of a relative to be healthier, for me to benefit from it. So I'm doing what Hashem wants for me, to come and watch His world, but I would like a reward. And then we find the third category, the category of a borrower, which comes and says, Hashem created the world, He gave it in our hands, and I'm here just to enjoy it. I don't want to pay for it. I don't want to pay for enjoying this world. I'm just enjoying the world, and I'm not going to pay anything in return. Just like the borrower does with the object. The Rebbe explains a very interesting explanation. Based on the argument that we find regarding the renter, how do we approach the renter? Same too, in the relationship between man and Hashem, we also find a deeper explanation how to approach this renter approach. We have the renter the way we approach a renter is that a renter takes an object from his friend and uses it, and in return he goes and pays back the owner as rent, as paying for the enjoyment that he has. A borrower is somebody who comes and enjoys the world and says, Hashem came and created the world. He created the world for me. I'm here to enjoy it. But just like a borrower has to come and return the object at the end of the day, same too, this borrower, the Jew who comes and wants to enjoy the world, enjoy all what the world has to offer, comes and says, yes, at the end of the day, I'll have to make sure that I'm returning the world the way I got it. How do I return the world the way I got it? I'll do Torah, I'll learn Torah, and keep mitzvahs. But what's my objective? What's my focus? What's my motivation? My motivation is to enjoy the world, to enjoy what the world has to offer. I don't have to give anything in return. My learning Torah and doing mitzvahs is just to make sure that I will be able to return the world the way I got it. A renter, on the other hand, says, yes, I'll enjoy the world. I'll enjoy what the world has to offer, but in return, I have to pay. And this payment is not just this payment is a payment for my enjoyment. We have, to summarize, in the relationship between man and Hashem, we have four categories. We have the highest category, which is the category of a guard for free, which says, I'm serving Hashem for nothing in reward. I don't need anything in return. I'm just serving Hashem, and that's it. Then we have the second category, the category of a shomer sachar, a guard for pay, which says like this: I want to serve Hashem because Hashem wants me to watch this world, and by learning Torah and doing mitzvahs. but I would like something in return. I would like Hashem to give me a better life. Then we have the third category, the category of a renter, which says, Hashem gave me this world for me to enjoy, and I'll enjoy it. As return, I'll also learn Torah and also do mitzvahs. But this learning Torah and doing mitzvahs is not serving Hashem, it's just a pay for my enjoyment. Being that I enjoyed, I feel like I have to pay. Then we have the fourth category, which is the lowest category, the category of a borrower, which says, Hashem came and created the world for me to enjoy it. And I'm going to enjoy it. I don't have to pay anything in return. Hashem gave it to me to enjoy, and I'll enjoy it. But he knows back in his head that there will come a time that I'll have to return the object he got. He has to return the world the way he got it. And therefore, he'll come and learn Torah and do mitzvahs just to make sure that he'll be able to return the world the way he got it. So his learning Torah and doing mitzvahs has no intention whatsoever about serving Hashem, has no intention whatsoever about payment. It's just to make sure that he's returning whatever he got. Is that okay? Is the borrower approach okay? Or maybe it's better for a person to say, if my motivation is just to come and enjoy this world, if my motivation is just to come and make my life a better life, maybe he shouldn't think about learning Torah and doing mitzvahs. If his learning Torah and doing mitzvahs is not for the right purpose of serving Hashem, maybe he shouldn't do it. But not. Chachamim come and teach us that yes, it's better for a person to come and do it for the right sake, the sake of Hashem, but if a person is not yet in that level, and whatever motivates him is just his own pleasure, let him go ahead and do that. Let him do it for his own pleasure. And understand that he has to learn Torah and do mitzvahs for whatever reason, either the reason of the borrower or the reason for the renter. But that eventually will lead him, that while he'll learn Torah and do mitzvahs, it would lead him to go and do it for the right purpose. For the right purpose of the Shemer Chinam, ultimately would reach that attitude of serving Hashem just for the sake of Hashem and not for his own pleasure. Have a good Shabbos.